You make 25 cents. There he is.
Hey, Lon. Good to see you.
Mr. Turner, how are you, sir? I'm so glad you made it. I was feeling lonesome. I thought maybe he's in.
You're not here now, I'm next.
I see what you're thinking ahead.
But I wasn't upset, really,
She's always ahead.
you know?
Let's see, I guess I need to put this back up.
Nobody's gonna see you.
Yeah, I know. Let's stand up and get it up.
You need help?
All right,
I get it for you, just
Oh,
stay.
okay, yeah, just pull a trigger, no jump.
It's a good feeling. It's a good
Thank you.
feeling, considering.
So which packet are we using?
You guys done, I guess.
I don't understand that,
Thick one's black.
but we got three others.
Who's coming?
Two others.
Well, right now, there's three of us.
So is addendum replace or is it additional?
And myself.
Addendum is additional.
Additions, yeah, they're just making some changes.
Look at Amy's doing what I did last meeting.
I'm doing what?
Special meeting. Regular meeting.
Oh,
Are we, the regular meeting or special meeting?
regular.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, I saw you had special up, that's why.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's for,
halfway
On the
down.
other side of the table.
June 20th.
Oh,
That's why.
okay. Tuesday,
We
June
don't care about
27th.
that. That's why I had three of them. Had the change for that one.
Yeah, I threw a pack
All
together.
right, we're
here with
ready.
dividers and stuff. Dug out
There
some
we go.
pens and
Does
pencils.
that make you feel better?
Yeah, because there's two of them.
That's about the parade center. We're gonna have a vehicle of some sort.
I pick it up Friday.
What are you picking up, one?
Well, I have no idea, but probably a truck. You've always had a truck.
And they had a second agenda for today. I think that's the one with the
Bring our lawn
job
chairs.
applications, yeah. We'll probably
Bring your
go
chair.
for that.
Sounds good.
Hey, I
6
want,
o'clock.
What time?
It's 6 o'clock. No, it's 6 o'clock.
What time we gonna pick? I'm gonna ride down.
What
there.
is
What
this?
time you gonna go down?
That's for Saturday.
For the parade.
no,
Yeah, but seven, they said you need to, before 8 o'clock.
we have a new guy in there.
I'm only standing so I don't have to sit for 3 seconds and then get back up to say the
He's
pledge.
saying if you're gonna go to the parade.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep. Wait on you, boss.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Roll call, please.
You bet. Good evening. All right, we'll start with Councilmember Miller,
Here.
Councilmember Turner,
Here.
Councilmember Lane. Here. Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Vice Mayor Best.
Here.
Mayor Croft.
Here.
And we will catch the new council member after his oath of office.
Okay, I guess we might as well just go to the administration of the oath. Mr. Kelly,
You
will
get to
you
go
come
up
up
front.
here with me?
Oh, yes, sir.
Sorry.
I'd like to introduce to you Boyce Kelly, he is our new town councilman. and he will serve till
Microphone.
Do you want the microphone?
2018.
Yes.
Do it again.
Mr. Boyce Kelly? I guess I can turn that over. Hello, is anybody there?
No.
This is Mr. Boyce Kelly. He's
It's still not working.
Not working, Mayor.
This is almost like Verizon.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
That'd be good for
That
you.
could work out. It's usually a stereo. What we're gonna do is we're going to administer the oath of office to him right now. The town clerk, Ms. Lewis.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. State of Arizona,
State of Arizona,
County of Yavapai,
County of Yavapai.
I, and your name,
I, Boyce Kelly,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution laws
of the State of Arizona,
of the State of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and defend them
and defend them
against all
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will
and that I will
faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
of the office of council member
council member
of the town of Chino Valley
of the town of Chino Valley
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now the roll call.
The first minute of regret.
You really want to do this? Introductions, presentations, and proclamations, we have none. Call to the public. Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the agenda. Public comment is encouraged. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. The total time for a call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff the matter for further consideration and a decision at a later date or responding to criticism. Is there anybody that would like to speak at call to the public? Would you step up and tell us your name, please?
My name is Rick Nichols, and I'm a member of the Chino Valley Model Aviators. Good afternoon, Mayor and Town Council. It's good to be here again. From time to time, I give a report on the status of the Chino Valley Model Aviators to the Town Council. And I'd like to report at this time that the Chino Valley Model Aviators is in a real healthy state. Our airfield, for those who do not know, is 3 miles out east on Perkinsville Road on Santa Fe Trail. We have a 800-foot runway for radio-controlled model airplanes there. We currently have 125 members in our club, and we're always growing. One of the biggest things that's changed this year that I'd like to bring to the council and the public's attention is that we just made some bylaws changes and declared that all active service people have free membership to our club. So if you all know of anyone that's even in town that uses that hobby of flying radio control model airplanes, they're welcome to come out at any time. We'll assist them in learning anything they need to do. Also, students and people like even students in Embry-Riddle University, their membership dues are $10 a year. Normal dues are $75 a year. So we're trying to do what we can for the people who serve us and keep everything really friendly and teach people how to fly radio-controlled airplanes. We really appreciate the support the town has given us over the last probably 20 years now. We started out in one place and moved to another, and we've improved and improved and improved, and we really appreciate the town support. We have several events a year at our field, and they're always free to the public. The public is welcome to come out any day, normally in the mornings before, sometimes we get wind here in Chino Valley, before that comes up, and observe and watch, and if they like, take an interest and maybe get their hands on an airplane with some help to fly it. We have one big event every year, and that's the Steve Crow annual fly-in. Steve Crow is a past member of ours, and Steve was a World War II ace. He flew Spitfires and all kinds of airplanes and shot down a few of the bad guys, but he passed away a few years ago. He lived here in town. But the dates of that Steve Crow annual fly-in will be September 29th and 30th. We normally have food out there for purchase, and there's demonstrations and stuff going on all day long as the wind holds down. So Chino Valley is famous for wind. So anyway, I just want to bring you up to date on that, Mayor and Town Council and the public, and hope to see you out there sometime. And I'm going to have a question for you about maybe participating in something coming up.
Oh, my God,
Okay.
there it comes again.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. I've been out there before, and you guys have a lot of, too much fun, probably. Thanks. Response to the public. Response to the public is an opportunity, oh, I'm sorry, anybody else for call to the public? Okay, response to the public. Response to the public is an opportunity for the mayor to inform the public about how town official address matters raised during call to the public at a previous meeting. The question from the last meeting, does the town have a separate fund for road maintenance? The answer is yes. In fact, Arizona law requires the town to keep all proceeds received from highway user revenues, or HERF funds, in a separate fund. The fund must be used solely for street and highway purposes. The town collects approximately $920,000 of HERF revenues every fiscal year, down from about $1,109,000 in 2007. After paying for the road department salaries, benefits, equipment, and operating costs, the town only has about $125,000 per year to maintain the roads. The general fund contributes another $175,000, raising the amount to $300,000 per year. Any additional information that you like will be found on our published budget on our website. So if you want some more information, get our website and you can see what the budget is for that area. Let's go on to current events, summaries, and reports. This item is for information only. The mayor, any council member, or town manager may present a brief summary of reports or current events, or ask a staff member to provide the same. Presentation on information requested by the mayor and council will be made, and questions answered. No action will be taken. Let's go on this side. Clarice, do you have any input?
No questions
Jack?
at this time.
Chair's not empty no more.
Well, I can see that.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
Where'd he come from? Do you have anything?
He keeps coming back.
I know, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
I would just like to let everybody know, remind them, tell others about our 4th of July celebration that we will be having on Tuesday, July 4th. And we're going to have games and music and food and a great opening ceremony with our local American Legion doing our opening ceremonies for us. So come out and enjoy.
And we have a beer garden, too, so. that brings it.
Gosh, I forgot about that.
Beer garden.
Nothing new?
And
I have a couple. Thank you, Mr. Turner. That was on my to-do list. First and foremost, my thoughts and prayers with those affected by the Goodwin fire, especially our wildland and aerial crews and incident command. I want to make it known that many of our Chino Valley residents have offered support and assistance, trailering and housing animals from locations being vacated, evacuated. It's just another reason I'm proud to live here, and I feel blessed to live in such a great community. I would encourage anyone who would like notifications to use Yavapai County's emergency notification system, code RED, which can be found at ycsoaz.gov. And I would also like to remind everyone about the Wade Parker Memorial Softball Tournament, Saturday the 8th and 9th, hosted all around Chino Valley. This young man, and now with the town support, has put on this event for 4 years, and it's just fantastic, and all proceeds go directly to students in the Tri-City area who are pursuing careers in public service. It's a great scholarship fund. It's a great time. And that's all I have. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome our town attorney up here. That's Phyllis Smalley up on the end of our, so say hello to Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis. How
Hi,
are you?
Phyllis.
We don't want to leave her out.
Hi, I had to take you off mute.
Do you have something to say?
No, I was just saying hello. I was a
Okay.
little late because I had you on mute, so you wouldn't hear my background noise.
I don't blame you. I'd have us on mute, too. Nah. Okay. Mr. Straub, do you have something to tell us about things that's happening?
Mayor, Council, thank you. I'm very happy to report that we are able to piggyback on to Yavapai County's chip seal program this year. They're letting a contract for about $1.5 million, and we did get a very good price on our single and double chip seal. We anticipate starting chip sealing about mid-July. There's a short window for APNS, the contractor, to come in. He's all over the county, but he's given us a short window to come in during that period. We will be placing a double chip seal on the road that we milled up, Old Home Manor, starting yesterday. That road has been completely milled up, some fresh base added, compacted, and we'll sweeten it up again before we place a double chip. As you recall, that road was all patches, rough patches. So that is on. We have 3 other roads. We have Road 1 North from 1 East to Cactus Ren, single chip. Road 1 West from 3 North to 4 North. Perkinsville Road from 1 East to Jerome Junction. And that's our chip seal program for this year.
Thank you very much. That
Thank
sounds
you.
like a great plan, so,
Thank you.
thank you. Is our Human Resources Director out there somewhere? Hi, come on up.
Hi there.
Hi.
So, action item 5D, update on the memorandum of understanding between the town of Chino Valley and the CV. This item is just an FYI to you to provide an update and also to provide you closure on the item for this year. You guys receive an update on this every year. There were no recommended changes to the MOU, so we're presenting to the council, so it's just going to roll over into the new year. I've attached the request we received with 4 items and our response, and if you have any questions on that.
Questions? Questions? No questions?
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. Let's go on to consent agenda. All those items listed below are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion. Any council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. Do we have anything to remove?
No, sir.
Anything? Madam Lou, Town Clerk, would you read the consent agenda, please?
Well, none of you may have a request, but we do. If you'll notice the dates on 6A, they're all based on last year's dates that we asked to have council off. That's what happens when you copy agenda items
Oh, I
sometimes.
thought this was Groundhog Day.
Yeah, the space-time continuum that badly. But, so we're going to just recommend, since we have the time, that we just postpone this one to the next meeting and we'll get the dates right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And so we'll just recommend postponing item A. And item B is considering 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Is there a second? Motion to approve? And then a second.
You did,
You did.
Mayor,
but you can't.
Mayor,
Mayor Croft.
Yes.
hi. On that motion, was the motion to table the first item and
To move it to,
approve the second item?
okay, let me straighten it out. Let's go with consent agenda item A. I need a motion to move that forward to the next meeting.
I make a motion to move item 6A to our next regular meeting.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The second is item 6B. I need a motion
I
to
make a
approve.
motion to accept item 6B.
All in favor, is a second? Second?
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Action
Thank you.
items, let's go to action item 7. The council may vote to recess the public meeting, hold an executive session on any item on this agenda pursuant to ARS 43103A3 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. Executive sessions are not open to the public. No action may be taken in executive session. Let's go to item 7A. Consideration and possible action to approve a conditional use permit, CPU 17-002, for approximately 14.76 acres of real property located at 915 North Road 1 West, EPN 306-23027, to allow for the use of horse boarding, horse shows, and equine events within the ARS Agricultural Residential 5-acre minimum zoning district, subject to conditions. The applicant is Teresa Santori, owner James Neviv. Mr. Lerma, would you come up and tell us about this?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Before you have an application, the applicant, Teresa Santori, who is representing the property owner Santori Levine Arizona Property Trust, has applied and is proposing is applying for a conditional use permit in order to allow the use of horse boarding, horse shows, and equine events. The subject property is located on the southeast corner of West Road 2 North and Road 1 West at 915 North Road 1 West, Chino Valley, AZ. The subject property is identified as assessor parcel number 306-23-027. We're dealing with a lot size of 14 acres, 0.76, approximately 642,945 square feet. Currently, the property is zoned agriculture residential 5-acre minimum. It has a designation general plan land use of medium density residential. And currently, the property has a residence on it and is also being used as a hayfield. There we go. Here's a surrounding zoning map. To the north, we have zoned public land, and the land uses there that are identified as Heritage Middle School, Del Rio Elementary School. We also have residence and vacant land to the northeast. To the west, we have single-family residential zoning, identified as Vista Bonita subdivision, and also vacant land. To the south, we have single-family residential 1-acre minimum, as well as commercial light and agriculture residential 5-acre minimum. As the land uses are identified as residential and vacant. To the east, we have commercial light, single-family residential 2-acre minimum, single-family residential 1-acre minimum, commercial light / agriculture residential 5-acre minimum, and multi-residential 1-acre minimum. The land uses identified are residential, vacant, Heritage Place subdivision, and Chino Grove subdivision as well. It's stated before, the land use designation of the subject property is medium density residential. Here's the site plan that the applicant has submitted. As you can see, there's various arenas. Currently, some of them are there, and some of them are going to be built in the future. As far as parking, the applicant has suggested that this open space right here be considered as this parking space as well. The UDO, the Unified Development Ordinance, does not specify or list the proposed uses that the applicant has proposed for, identified as horse boarding, horse shows, and equine events, as permitted as a conditional use under the property currently zoned as AR5. AR5 zoning district allows for uses that are similar in nature and impact in adjoining properties such as farming, agriculture, including the keeping of farm animals. The current zoning also allows for the following uses as a conditional use: rodeos, livestock auctions, fairgrounds, riding academies, and commercial stables. As such, the zoning administrator has determined that AR5 district is appropriate for the proposed use. Furthermore, the zoning administrator determines that the conditional use permit will be required. And staff deems that the proposed use will have a small to no impact of surrounding properties based on the applicant's desire to have such shows and events on a weekly to monthly basis and attracting small crowds. The applicant has applied and has gone through the citizens review process. She identified all property owners within a 300-foot radius of her proposal. She had a meeting on site on April 10th. I believe no residents attended that neighborhood meeting, but the applicant was in communication with the surrounding property owners. The applicant went before the Planning and Zoning Commission on May 2nd. The commission forwarded approval with the stipulations recommended by staff. During that P&Z meeting, no property owners had any negative comments to make or any issues with the proposed conditional use. Before you, you have the property again, and as highlighted in the red outline is where you can see the property lines. As you can see, the property is buffering on the center of the street. Therefore, staff has recommended a condition of approval that applicant dedicate 13 feet of right-of-way on Road 1-2 North and North Road 1 West as a stipulation. Also, staff and the town attorney have put these stipulations together as well, stipulations that were forwarded by commissioners and some others that were added recently. As you see here, here are the stipulations. Staff recommends that the CUP be approved with the following stipulations: that the site shall not have any lighted arenas. No horse shows or events shall be permitted after dark. Site shall have adequate dust control. No on-street parking shall be permitted. All parking shall be on site or within the parcel itself. The owner of the property shall dedicate 13 feet of right-of-way adjacent to West Road 2 North and 13 feet of right-of-way adjacent to North Road 1 West. The use permit shall not be effective until after dedication of right-of-way may be completed. The applicant is here. If council or mayor have any questions towards myself.
We have an addendum on this. What was the change? I'm not seeing what the change
The
was. Or was it just the wording on the right of way?
No, the conditional use permit that you guys have, we added, modified the stipulations on it. I believe, I'm not exactly sure which one you have, but if you see stipulation number 4, no on-street parking shall be permitted, I don't think is on your conditional use permit letter, as well as the number 6, which states the use of permit shall not be effective until after dedication of the right-of-way is completed. These are stipulations that were added after a town clerk had already printed out the agenda items.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
The one thing that I noticed that was removed from that was comply with all other ordinances
Yes.
under the stipulation. So why was that removed?
And that was something that actually Phyllis deleted from the CUP.
Ask Phyllis.
Okay, you're on.
Yes, Councilmember Turner, it was removed because it's required. It's redundant. They have to comply with all town codes and ordinances anyway.
Okay,
So it was just redundant.
okay. Then my next question is, does the applicant fully understand what other ordinances they will have to comply with? I mean, has there been a question and answer session with you? Has someone explained to them fully what other ordinances in particular they will have to deal with?
Ordinances and what cause? I mean,
Well, I
we
guess what I'm concerned about more than anything else, we've been through this with other properties and parking, public coming on to the property. Do they have to pave anything? chip seal, anything like that?
Okay, good questions. During the feasibility meetings that we had with the applicant, zoning administrator deemed that the applicant would not have to pave the parking area. She deemed that the open space that's here to the south was enough for parking space, as well as once this area is full, if she more people come to the event, as stipulated in the conditional use permit, that they cannot use the street or the side of the street as parking.
Okay.
Right. So again, the events are, or the parking at the events are only deemed within the parcel itself.
Okay.
Alex, what about, the handicap parking is usually the big kicker. Handicap and public bathroom. Because usually handicap parking has to be an improved surface.
Right, and these events will not be attracting a large crowd. These events are small crowds, invite only, as I know.
So it's more of a private affair?
So mine is a private affair, or either that or small crowds.
Did this go back through, after the amendment, did this go back through P and Z again?
No, it didn't.
Oh, I have a problem with that. That's why we have P and Z. Yes, sir.
Also, being familiar with traffic, the egress and entrance and exits, I've been by the facility, and I don't see a real, if you're gonna have events with people, I don't see a clear access and entrance, and I don't see it displayed on your display.
Right.
You know, in other words, and I would think if you're gonna get, I'm looking at these arenas and I just happen to know about that industry, and you need some egress and entrance, you know, in other words, and possible turning lanes as it gets up, and as you know, the school over there has some busy hours and then it's real quiet. So some entrance clarification would really be a big, I think, an important part.
Okay, to cover those questions, ingress, egress, there's an entrance here and as well as here. So they have entrances on both sides, on both main streets. As far as traffic flow and the impact that's going to have on the schools, as stated before, these events are only going to be on the weekends.
Right.
So there will be no school in session during that time.
But from what I've seen, and not even actually knowing this was on the agenda today, I've been watching this facility develop, and I haven't really noticed the entrances that you just pointed out with your arrow on the road. That's all I'm saying. If I haven't noticed them and driving back and forth, I saw you had people over there training a few days ago, and that's good, but I didn't notice, and so my concern is if more people are going to be there, which comes to these events, you're going to need a bigger entrance exit. Maybe not paved or anything like that, but that's my concern.
I have a concern, this hadn't gone back to P and Z. We have some questions here. I'd like to move this forward. I'd like this to go back to P and Z, go through Planning and Zoning Commission again, and I'd like to move this forward to the July 11th meeting. And please answer those questions for us and come back with an answer. The project is great. I think we need to find out what about handicap parking, and I have no paperwork here from P and Z that says one way or another, and I need to see where they approve this or don't approve this.
Again, as stated before, this did go through P and Z, and these issues were not raised during the P and Z meeting.
Okay, let's run it through P and Z, please. That's what they're
All right.
there for. We hire, we appoint people to planning and zoning to do the research. So
Okay,
with you and staff. Yes, sir.
One other question is I didn't realize a dedication of right-of-way would be required for a conditional use permit, only a rezoning. If next time you bring this back, be able to answer that at that time would be great.
I'd like a motion to move this forward to July 11th, and let us come back July 11th and
I'd like to make a motion that we bring this back on July 11th with the questions that have just been asked answered through P and Z and the other things.
Okay, just to clarify, before that motion goes forward, what are the questions that we're trying to answer here? Is it adequate parking? Is it
Handicap parking.
Handicap
number one.
parking?
Number two, entrance and exits.
okay?
And restrooms.
And
yeah.
restrooms. Again, this should probably have not suddenly come back to the council yet. It's really not ready yet because it hasn't gone through planning and zoning. And the folks that are doing this can answer those questions at planning and zoning. If they approve it, then it comes to the council and we make a decision.
The applicant is here. Can we give her a chance to
Sure,
address
you can
those?
Sure, come on up.
Hello, I'm Teresa Santori, and good questions. There is entrances on the property. We have not marked them clearly. There's a gate that's remained closed that is recessed on the property, but until we've had our use permit, we don't want to put signage or anything out. But we do have plenty of room and a complete turnaround on it. We also have a bathroom on the premises and a paved spot for handicap parking. So,
All right.
I was itching to answer that question because these questions actually did come up when I was going through the permit and I was well aware of it. So, we do have those things. And I forget what other question there was that you were unsure of. But I'm the person to ask because it's
You're
kind
the
of my
boss, huh?
vision. You what?
Okay, you're the boss, huh?
Well,
You're paying for it.
yeah. So all these things certainly did come up. And as far as the entrances, yeah, we didn't really put much signage. And as you're going on 2 North, you would see just past that big dairy barn, there's a gated entrance, not something horse trailers are going to be really able to get through. Then there's another one. It's not recessed. And then there's actually a third entrance, which is recessed, and we had the gates closed on that. We haven't opened them yet. We've been waiting on this permit anxiously, so before we open it up and get it going. So I hope, that answers your question, and it's got, adequate driveway material on it, and it's raised up. And we have a road actually that we made going down to the parking that's raised. It's got the proper drainage and slope to it, and we've not graded, but we've worked our field to make it appropriate for parking. And, we don't have a whole lot of people that come to these events. They are very small. I want to say on Sunday, we had maybe 5 people. Anyway, they're not big. We don't do roping. We don't do anything like that. And mainly we're there for the 4-H. So that's kind of the big thing is the 4-H. They meet in our buildings. They use our property. So that's my main concern. But I want to do everything in accordance with the city and be able to kind of enrich the city with this great property that we just love.
Ms. Smiley, did you look at this presentation? Did you look at?
Yes, I did.
This agenda item?
Yes.
You having a problem with anything of it?
I fixed everything I had a problem with.
That's a good answer. Huh?
Yeah, that's a good answer.
So yes, I'm fine with it going forward as is.
Did you see the things we had a question about? You reviewed those?
I did not review the parking or the entrances. I did talk to Alex about it. Not the entrances. I didn't see a problem with the
More
entrances.
administratively than I'm saying physically go out and look at it. Because
Okay.
I believe the lady described properly the flow of events that will happen.
You've answered all my questions, thank you. Anybody have any other questions?
No.
And what's your pleasure? Want to go forward with it, or you want to delay it?
Well, we've got a motion on the table. He has to rescind it,
Yeah.
or we have to vote on it, one of the two.
It wasn't seconded,
What
so
was your motion?
my motion was that we postpone this till the 11th of July and we discuss the entrances, handicapped, and restroom situation. In short, that was my
Is there
motion.
a second?
I think we can go forward with it.
Hearing none, the motion is denied. Is there another motion?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the CUP for approximately 14.76 acres of real property located at 915 North Road 1 West to allow the use of horse sporting, horse shows, equestrian events within the AR 5 agricultural residential 5 acres minimum zoning district.
Now do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And there's an administrative issue that I'll deal with the town manager about, so, that I'm very unhappy. Okay, let's go on to B. Public hearing and consideration possible action to adopt resolution number 171106, adopting a final budget for fiscal year 2017-2018 and proposed expenditure limitations for the same year in the amount of $23,100,000. Mr. Duffy, you're going to be busy tonight. You're on all these items.
I am, but I'm going to try to be quick. So Mr. Miller requests that every meeting from me, so I do the best I can. This evening, I'll just do a brief presentation, then we can recess into a public hearing, if that'd be okay, Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor?
Do your presentation, we'll go to public hearing.
Okay. Get a little bit organized here. I just have a brief presentation on the budget for 2017-2018. Essentially, on May 23rd, the council adopted the tentative budget, which set our expenditure limitation, or the maximum amount of money that we can spend this next budget year. We published the budget for 2 weeks and, of course, posted it on the website and had it available in town.
Can we keep our conversations down back there? Thank you.
And then tonight, we'll hold a public hearing and adopt the final budget. The budget is up just a little bit, about 6%, from $21,738,000 to $23,100,000. And this sort of breaks out all the different funds. I'll go over this in a little bit more detail later. Some of the things that we're doing this year differently is the general fund, we're rolling over an estimated $333,000. That's money we didn't spend this year that we're going to apply to next year's budget. Our reserves are fully funded, and 5 years ago, even 4 years ago, we couldn't say that, but council's made some good decisions, and with strong financial planning, we've come out of it. Our reserves are required to be $2.3 million. We're about $3.2 million. And our contingency fund is now $440,000. That's a percentage of our total expenditures every year, so it went from 400 to 440. Some of the good things we've done, or some of the things we've done, is we did a police officer market adjustment, evaluated their salaries within our market here, and actually gave our police officers an increase. We also had a PSPRS increase, which netted about $150,000 more. And there's a potential that we can actually buy down that, or buy down our unfunded liability, and I'll be bringing that to council near the end of this next budget year if our budget goes good. And we're buying 8 police cars that we ordered after last meeting. The HERF fund, our revenues have increased from 896 to 923. We're using about 105 in carryover funds, which was going on the chip seal project in July. We've decreased the amount of overhead, the general fund charges by $100,000, and added $50,000 of highway maintenance. And by doing all these things, we've actually increased the total amount of money we can put on the roads next year to $250,000. Plus the $50,000 in Highway 89 maintenance. So we've gone from about 100, we've over doubled it this year. So we're continuing to do whatever we can to put more money towards the roads. The Water Enterprise Fund, we budgeted just an arbitrary $2 million just in case we get the opportunity to acquire a water system. Our Capital Improvement Fund was reduced, the amount that we subsidize the water system went from 75 to 25, and our water accounts increased from 658 to 701. The sewer system, we completed the Molly Ray and the One-Wa sewer extension this last year, which is going to add accounts. We completed the plant upgrades to the SMU filters. As you recall, we spent a little over $350,000 doing that, bringing our plant up to specs. The fund will be operating in the black next year, and that's a very positive thing. It's taken several years, but we're finally solidly in the black. And the number of accounts has increased from 1725 to 1744, and I hate to say, but that 1744 is probably a low number with the number of housing starts we've had. The Capital and Project Fund, we're rolling over $70,000 this year. We're transferring $400,000 to the general fund, $150 for aquatics, and $250 for police. We get $110,000 in the Yavapai Drainage Project every year that we've spent this fiscal year, just like last week, and we plan on spending it next year. We have $143,000 in grant matching, and that's primarily Old Home Manor EDA grant and one other grant we've applied for. And we have road impact fee projects, which is Road 1 East, budgeted for $498,000. This is a list of the equipment that we did. Of course, the top is the police cars that we've got on order. The rest of the equipment, though, we're going to hold off, and we're going to wait until the new Public Works Director gets his feet on the ground and let him come and justify the need for equipment for you. So my plan is to go ahead and get the line of credits established, and if we decide to spend it on new equipment, we will. If not, we'll just not use it and cancel it. But I just wanted to give, I haven't done this year, but even though, we're financially in good shape, we still have to be watching every dollar. We got to be very careful. We're still being very conservative. But there's some really good projects that I don't think the public really sees all the time, that we are still continuing to do things and make improvements. During the council retreat, Mayor and Council directed staff to, let's fix what we have, let's replace what we have, and let's get things up to snuff to where they should be. So on that theme, we're going to do a document management system in MIS. We're going to remodel the bathrooms at the senior center to make them ADA compliant. We're going to seal the parking lot at the aquatic center. It's really in need, and restripe it. We're going to paint the North Campus facilities and possibly this facility, depending how far the money stretches. We're going to upgrade the Memory Park restrooms. Of course, we've increased road materials, road maintenance. We've got $70,000 in between water and sewer for a new building. We're going to look at that and see if maybe we can erect something for their office needs and what they need. Capital improvements, of course, we got 1 East, drainage projects, the community center remodel. We're going to finish that up this year. We're going out to bid for flooring. We're going to paint the interior, paint the exterior, and get that building ready to go. We still left the Wi-Fi tower capital improvement at the rec center, but we'll see how that goes. We'll continue working on that. Couple grant matches, $30,000 for the Old Home Manor master plan, which I believe is now going to start in the first part of September. We've got $50,000 in for a drawing bed design, which the new Public Works Director will bring that to you if that's a top priority. We have $15,000 for a regional septic grants match, and that's sort of following if with WIFA we've applied for a little grant for about $35,000. If we get it, we'll need another $15,000 to match that amount, and it's a technical review grant. And then of course we have $500,000 in for sewer extensions. So with that, Mr. Mayor, if you don't have any questions, I'll let you open a public hearing, and then that's all I
Let me
have.
ask questions here. Anybody here have a question before we go into public hearing? Question, Chair? I'd like a motion to open a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing on the budget.
A second?
Second?
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Public hearing is open. Does anyone have any comments? Want to come up and talk about the budget? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. A couple of questions. It came up during the police.
What did we state your name?
State your name,
Huriaksha.
please. I know your name, but nobody else.
Chino Valley. County, actually. And so I'm wondering if with those 8 new patrol cars, if we're retiring any, is that part of the deal? And then, oh yeah, I've been meaning to ask somebody about the landscaping at the aquatic center, because I love the native plants that are coming up in the gravel, but then I see they get chopped down. They come back fast, but wouldn't that cut down on expenses if we just allow the native plants to thrive? Maybe. Oh, and what's the community center? Is that the one at the library?
No,
No.
it's out by the pool,
Building south of the pool.
building south of the pool.
Thank you.
Mr. Duffy, can you answer those questions?
Well, I can answer the police cars, and yes, buying these 8 police cars, we are going to retire a fleet of Dodge Chargers that have been miled out. This will actually get the average miles for. This will get the maximum number of miles that we have on our existing fleet. The highest mileage will be at 80,000 at this point. Our police officers put about 10,000 miles per year on each car, so. Basically, we dropped it from a little over about 120,000, our highest, down to 80. So we should be good for 2 or 3 years before we come back for more cars. As far as the landscaping at the aquatic center, I can't. answer that one for you. I'll let you guys answer that if you'd like. So,
I don't think we have an answer for you
yeah, we
tonight.
don't, yeah.
We'll see if we.
But we can get you an answer for that. sir.
Yeah.
We can get you an answer for that.
Scott?
Unless Scott.
Scott,
wants-
oh, Scott's back there. Come up, Scott, would you please?
Mayor and Council, Scott Bruner, Community Service. I haven't really seen any natural habitat coming up. What I've seen are weeds. You know, and what we need to do, and we haven't done it, is spray it. Yeah. Well, we've already done one side of it. We've already sprayed in all of the town, including Town Hall gets sprayed. And eventually then we'll go through and pull the rest of that out and clean it up. So it's basically, in order to open up for the aquatic center and get that going, we're running behind, and we just weed whacked it down and knocked it down for now, so it wouldn't be too unsightly, but it does need attention, and so that's what we're going to do. And it's on our list of things to do.
Who are you, what's your name?
Scott Bruner, you betcha.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner, we appreciate it. Any other? Hey, come on up.
Mayor, Council, Mark Fusich. I have a question about the wastewater sewer extension, the $500,000. Do you know where that is planned, in what areas, and, you know? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, yes or no?
Well, the answer is, it's really just a plug figure, because, I mean, just, we need to budget for it, even though we don't have specific projects identified. So, but we're strategically looking at places where we can do small little sewer extensions for our sewers. So the answer is no specific project, but we have a placeholder there so that if we identify one, we can actually spend the money.
In Arizona, when we do our budget, we have to try to identify everything that we want to spend during the year. So this is we want some sewer extension, we don't know exactly what it is. But we also have to already budget for it, so we can expend it. If we don't budget for it, we can't expend it during the year.
Yeah, with our expenditure limitations, we have to set the total amount we can spend, which means we have to estimate for things that we are just projecting or maybe hoping that will happen within that number, so that we have the capacity to spend it, or else we'd have to delay it to the next budget year.
It's kind of fake budget.
Yes. It's estimated. It's a budget.
Anyway, any other questions, comments? I make a motion to close. I need a motion to close the.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Public hearing's closed. Now I need a motion to adopt.
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 171106, adopting the financial budget and proposed expenditure limits for the fiscal year of 2017-2018 in amount of $23,100,000.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Let's go on to item C, public hearing and consideration of possible action to adopt resolution number 171107, adopting the statements and estimates of expenses of the town Chino Valley Street Lighting Improvement Districts for the fiscal year 2017-2018, which shall constitute the budgets of the district for the fiscal year 2017-2018. Mr. Duffy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. In the very back of Exhibit A is our Street Lighting Improvement District Statement of Estimates and Expenses. These street lighting districts are located in the Bright Star subdivision, and they've broken it out in three different districts, number 1, 2, and 3A. And basically what happens is APS bills us for the electrical usage of those street lights. The county collects the property tax from these homeowners and then reimburses us on a monthly basis. So it's pretty much a wash. Sometimes we're in the hole $100, sometimes we're in the good $100, but every year it comes out just about the same.
Okay.
So,
Any questions from the?
so you'll need to do a public hearing, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Need a motion to open a public hearing?
Make a motion.
Second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Non-public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a statement about the street light district? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the
I
public
make a
hearing.
motion to close the public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Now I need a resolution.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution number 171107, approved expense of the Town of Chino Valley Street Lighting Improvement District for fiscal year 2017-2018, which shall constitute the budget of the district for the year 2017-2018.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Let's go on to item D. Consideration of possible action to approve agreement for professional consulting services between the Town of Chino Valley and Sangston Associates LLC for the purpose of providing professional planning consulting service in amount not to exceed $50,000. Mr. Duffy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. As you know, we've had a recent vacancy in our planning department, and we do still have the same amount of work. So Cecilia Gribman, our town manager, has contacted Mr. Jason Sanks and requested that he be, basically he would like to come for about 2 days per week to assist Alex and with all the planning stuff. Phyllis has reviewed the professional services contract and agreement. The amount, we put in $50,000 really as a placeholder. We don't anticipate spending that amount this fiscal year unless we have some huge projects that come up. And $5,000 for travel, again, was just to cover his motel room and his travel to and from Phoenix. He plans to be here up to 2 days per week to provide the services. From a budgetary standpoint, it's pretty much a wash because we're not paying the salary, so this, Mr. Sanks should be able, we should stay, I'm anticipating to actually be under budget.
So
for
when
this
are we
amount.
going to hire for this position?
Mrs. Karyakis or Laura?
She needs to come up.
Come on up, Laura.
Yeah.
We haven't officially started the recruitment and selection process. I am anticipating in the next month, we will start up that process. We need to look at the job description, fine tune it, and see what we really need and just make sure we understand our needs before we start the recruitment. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
What is the hiring cycle? What can we expect here?
Thought you were done, didn't you?
Don't go away.
Because of the level of the position, I'm anticipating anywhere from, it could be as long as 90 days, because it's a director level position.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand right here.
Any other questions?
Not until she walks back.
Yeah, would you walk back so we can call you back? Yes.
We are actually hiring a service, not an individual. Is
We're hiring the firm.
hiring
Yeah,
a firm,
we're hiring
not
a firm,
an individual?
Not the individual, yeah.
Okay.
But it really
That's
is
why
one
the
person.
W-9 versus a W-4.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a position we're filling a leadership, in other words, management in that area that we're speaking of, or is it a fiscal clerk?
This position is part of our leadership team, so it is a
Okay.
management level position. But Mr. Sanks will really just be helping the work get done in the department and not really do all the leadership functions involved too.
All right.
A portion of them, but not all.
Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Anyone? I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the agreement for professional consulting services between the Town of Chino Valley and Swank and Associates LLC, not to exceed $50,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
I second that motion.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? No nays? It's approved 100%. Yes, ma'am. Let me read the item and then we'll let you talk. Consideration of possible action to adopt resolution number 171108, amending the Town of Chino Valley Personnel Policy Administrative Guideline Manual by amending policy number 100, definitions, repealing existing policy number 715, sick leave, and adopting new policy number 715, earned paid sick leave, dated September 12, 2002, revised effective January 1, 2017. Mrs. K.
That's a long
It is, I'm out of breath.
sentence. I think it was a run-on sentence. So back on November 8th of 2016, Arizona voters passed the minimum wage and paid sick time off initiative, which is known as Proposition 206, and it raised the minimum wage in phases. The first phase took effect January 1st, which phases that will be rolled out in the next 3 years in January. The other part of that was it also requires businesses with 15 or more employees to provide paid sick time to all employees. So we had to revise our policy. Some of our current policy exceeds the basic requirements that the proposition requires, so we kept those parts. We didn't want to diminish our policy, but there are areas that we needed better clarification on. And because of those multiple requirements outlined in the proposition, the who, when, why, what, Gus Rosenfeld, Phyllis, otherwise known as Phyllis, created more of a rewrite rather than a red line to the policy. So when you look at it, it looks quite different because it was necessary. Some of the big things that changed are the reasons why you can use paid sick time. Our current policy basically states that you can use it for things like illnesses or injuries, medical treatments, diagnoses, surgical procedures, dental procedures, optical services, childbirth, preventative care. Proposition 206 goes into more detail where it covers all that, but it also ensures that mental illnesses are covered as well. Closures for places of businesses, schools, if they're closed for public health emergencies. An employee can take an absence for their or a family member's issue with regards to domestic violence, sexual violence, abuse, stalking. So there's a number of added things that they can utilize their sick time for. Family members were changed as well. Our policy lists child, parent, spouse, grandparent, grandchild, siblings. They've added domestic partners to the proposition. Any person related by blood or affinity whose close association with the employee is equivalent to a family relationship, so they don't even have to be related. But if you view somebody as a parent.
How are you going to check that without?
It's going to be a
that's
challenge.
That's really kind of getting illegal, get into, wow, that's going to be a real issue.
Other things that were added and clarified, in my opinion, is adoption of a child, foster kids, stepchildren, any step relationship. A parent that's not related, and any family members of employees, spouses, or domestic partner. Those were not included in our policy, so we have to include those as well. So there's a lot of things that we're adding. Other things that I wanted to point out that are different are, right now our policy offers sick time to anybody that works at least 20 hours or more. And they receive, for a full-time employee, they get 3.69 hours a pay period for every 80 hours. So that's basically breaks down to 0.0462 hours of sick time for every hour worked. We also had to include anybody that works less than 20 hours. So it's your seasonal staff, your temporary staff, your part-time staff. So our library clerks, our aquatic staff, our ACO staff, senior center staff that don't work full-time. All of those employees will be receiving sick time, but it's not at the same rate as somebody working 20 or more hours in a week. Anybody working less than 20 hours will accrue, and we break it down by hours because our payroll system can do it, 0.0332 hours of sick time for every hour worked. So basically what that equates to is for every 30 hours that they work, they get 1 hour of sick time. And they're capped off at 40 hours in the year.
And it's not transferred to the next year.
It rolls.
Does it roll?
Yeah, because our current policy rolls, we're going to allow this policy to roll. But it would take, so basically our employees right now, after you bank 192 hours in your sick bank, you have 25% vesting for any hours above that. So if you leave, like if you had 193 hours in your sick bank, 192 hours go away, and then we would pay you 25% of that hour above 192. It would take a part-time employee 5,760 hours of work just to become vested. So it's going to take them a long time. It equates to 303 weeks or 5.83 years if they work 19 hours a week every week, and not all of our part-time employees do that. And we have aquatic staff that they don't work that. The other thing that's going to change is if somebody leaves and they come back within 9 months, we will be required to replenish their bank with any hours that we didn't pay out or they didn't use, and they can use it immediately. And that's easy to track through our payroll system. So those are the major changes. And like I said, everything else we kept. We didn't want to diminish our existing policy, we just added the things that we needed to add.
And this doesn't apply to state and federal government, right?
It does not.
So just the small business.
Yes, us.
Is going to take.
The town gets to, comply.
Town and small business. Another deal.
And this is just to be in compliance with the law.
Yes. We don't anticipate it affecting the budget by very much. We anticipate, we project about $2,000, if that.
So all the changes that were made were directly tied to the new law. We didn't, or how many changes were made from our own human resources recommendation or management recommendations?
Anything that the law required, we changed. There were things that I didn't put in it because we don't already require it. So for example, the law states that you can wait 90 days before we allow employees to use it immediately. Upon accrual, they can use it. So after you receive your paycheck, if there's any sick time accrual on there, you can use it. So we don't make them wait 90 days. We never did, so we don't want to. We don't want to take that away from them. And we didn't feel that we should take that away from the part-timers as well. Because they accrue at such a small rate that we wanted to keep it fair.
Okay. So again, did we change anything? Did we change anything that wasn't tied to the requirements from the state? We had things that we were already doing?
Yes.
That's fine.
And we're
None
keeping
of
them.
those were changed?
No, they were not changed.
Okay. The only things that were changed was things that was required from the state?
Mm-hmm. And if we offered more, we kept it.
Okay.
And,
Questions?
and you're saying the sum total of this conceptually ballpark is about 2,000 a year?
That's what we're projecting. We don't anticipate a high number, dollar-wise, financially to affect us.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, can we have a motion?
I make a motion to adopt Resolution 171108, amending the Town of Chino Valley's Personal Policy and Administration Guideline Manual by amending policy number 100 definitions, repealing existing policy number 715 sick leave, and adopting a new policy number 715 earned paid sick leave, dated September 12, 2002, revised effective July 1, 2017.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Let's go to item F, consideration
Thank you.
possible action to update appointments to council subcommittees and outside entities. If you go to page 81, in your, actually 83, it starts council subcommittees. It looks like appointments, myself, Mike Best, and Lon Turner. Any changes there?
No?
The second one is finance. It's Annie Lane, Corey Mendoza. And I'm temporarily as the chair. And I'm going to put my name back on finance. Cloyce, would you like to be on the finance committee?
Yes.
Okay,
That'd be
I'm
fine.
going to add Cloyce and then myself to the finance committee. Any problem with that?
That gives you a quorum.
With me moving to economic development,
You're going to be moving to economic
I'm going to be
development.
moving down
So
to
we're gonna
economic
have-
development.
Okay.
Okay. With economic development will be myself, Corey Mendoza, and Andy Lane.
Okay.
Public safety, Mike Best, Andy, and Jack Miller. Any problems there?
No?
Water and utilities, Lon Turner, Jack Miller, Corey Mendoza, and I'm an alternate, and I don't know why I'm an alternate. You can take me off the alternate.
Because you're
Can
the
you,
mayor.
can you please repeat the economic development? I thought Cloyce, Councilmember Kelly was going to be on
No,
that one.
I moved that around.
Oh, you did move it, okay.
Annie Lane wanted to be on it.
Okay. And are you going to stay the chair of that?
Yes, I'm going to stay the chair of that
Okay.
for right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, any questions about those subcommittees? Okay, let's move on to the next page. Where do we have holes? We have it in technical advisory, that's town engineer,
When we get a
All the
town
way down
engineer,
to
we'll
Chamber
put a
of
name in
Commerce.
there.
Pardon?
When we get a town engineer, we'll
When we get a
plug the
town
name
engineer,
in there.
we'll fill that in.
Mhm.
The Gardner Chamber of Commerce will be, Councilmember Kelly will be the representative of the Chamber of Commerce. Is that right?
Which one's that?
That's
L.
L.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Let's go on down to G-Prep.
Where you at?
G-Prep, which is item N,
In,
Oh,
and I'm as a rep manager.
as you, so have two of you,
It's gonna be the town
or
manager
just town manager?
instead of myself.
All right, got that.
And that looks like that's it. Any other questions about, does that cover all the subcommittees?
Yeah.
Anybody else that would like to have something different?
Good.
Okay. I don't think we need a motion for that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's go on to 8A, executive session. Council may vote to recess the regular meeting and hold an executive session which will not be open to the public for the following purposes. An executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A1 for discussion or consideration of employment, assignment, appointment, or salaries of the following candidates for the position of town magistrate. John Erickson, Mary,
Position of magistrate, not town manager.
well, it says did I say manager? I said town magistrate, I think. didn't I?
Oh, okay, sorry.
sound like said
I
manager.
thought I don't have what I said. Town magistrate, we'll get the right one. Mary Ham, Catherine Kelly, Ingrid Holmes, and Joel Thompson. So I need a motion to go into executive session. Do you want to take a short break?
After a 10-minute break?
10 minutes.
I make a
15?
motion to go in executive session after a 10-minute break.
All those a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Let's take a 5-minute and then we'll go into executive.
10 minutes.
10 minute? You want a 10 minute?
No, she wanted 10 minutes.
You want a 10 minute?
That's
Take a
what she
break.
said.
I'm the only skirt.
That's what I gave her.
Well, throw that one back at me.
Hey, every chance I get.
I love it.
I ain't gonna do that.
Teach her to not be here.
It's not gonna happen. Beep, beep, beep. You can fill this guy?
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about Klaus, just give me a kick.
No, I'm not.
Phyllis, what is that? No. Okay, we have everybody? We are back in regular session. We have Phyllis? Hi, Phyllis, are you here? All right. Nope, we lost, yes, she is.
Oh, there I am.
I'm confused. There she is.
Hello.
Hi.
We're back in regular session. The agenda item is 8A, consideration possible action to appoint a presiding magistrate. I said magistrate.
Yes, you did.
Okay. And direct staff to negotiate and prepare an employment contract to be approved by council at the next meeting. Do I have a motion?
I can have blanks, okay. I make a motion to appoint Mary Ham to the position of Chino Valley presiding magistrate contingent upon the successful completion of a pre-employment drug test and background screening, and directing staff to negotiate with Mary Ham to prepare an employment contract for consideration by the town council in its council meeting on July 11th, 2017.
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carries. Now I need
I'll make a
another-
motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We adjourn. Thank you,
it.
ladies and gentlemen.
I like this job. Okay.